All right, what is up, Utah fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest, and what a game. Utah heads into the Rose Bowl and comes out with a 43-10 win. Now, I know there were some very optimistic fans, but damn, I don't think anyone confidently thought we'd have that kind of win. You think about how many teams have had tough games or lost to FCS teams over the past few days. Utah went to UCLA, the number 26 most talented roster according to 24/7 Sports, and made them, score wise, look like an FCS team. I mean, this was a beatdown. This was intense. And I thought there were moments like when it was 20-7 that UCLA started to establish a little bit of momentum, never like back in the game. But outside of that, I mean, Utah was bullying them out the gate, clearly the better team. And outside of that one, 2 or 3 drive series, UCLA really never got the momentum going and really never got it together, guys. I'm excited to dive in. We're going to talk about who the player shoutouts are, who really impressed me on offense and defense. I think there were some great showings, and I think there is so much to be excited about. Before we get into all that, make sure you guys smash the like button. That's going to help get it out to more fans. Also, comment down below, guys. What a huge win. Seriously, I want you guys to celebrate in the victory with me. I want to know your thoughts. Who's your, obviously there's some clear ones, but maybe some guys I don't mention on this episode that you guys want to talk about. Drop it in the comments. I want to hear what you guys are thinking and just the vibes right now. I'm sure they're amazing. That's how I'm feeling. And subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. If you guys love Utah content that gets pretty analytical, I think this is probably the place you're going to want to be. Let's go ahead and dive in and recap the Utah versus UCLA game and talk about the top performers. We're going to start with the offense. Like I mentioned, guys, 43-10, just an incredibly dominant win here. I mean, very, very impressive for Utah to go in there and do this. And I think as a Utah fan, you can't not be extremely optimistic about the season after that. I'm going to just go ahead and dive right in. I'm not going to, keep foreshadowing and building anticipation. I'm just going to talk about it. Devin Dampier was the big question mark heading into today. Devin Dampier was a guy coming from G5 to P4, where he had a dead even TD to INT ratio. As I talked about, if you watched any of my, my breakdown of Devin Dampier when he committed to Utah, or you watched my video breakdown of the Utah versus UCLA matchup, that TD to INT ratio was not reflective of who Devin Dampier was as a player, but considering it didn't look very good, you did have to take it into consideration in this game. The other thing you were wondering as we headed into this matchup is what would his athleticism look like against a P4 defense, and especially one with the talent of UCLA. And I think he came and answered those questions extremely well. I mean, this guy came out there and he had an 80+% completion percentage throwing the ball for 206 yards, 21 out of 25 completions, or 21 completions on 25 attempts, and 2 touchdowns. And then he also on the ground went 16 carries for 87 yards and 1 touchdown. And I think the number one thing that the stats do not even really explain is how well this guy could buy time in the pocket. That was incredible. I mean, this guy, if he needed to, he could buy an extra 5 to 8 seconds on any play. Heading into this game, I talked about how as a Utah fan, we struggle so much with scrambling quarterbacks because they will just continue to buy time. And when they roll out, they'll launch one deep and just make us pay. Well, we got one of our own here, and he bought an extra 3 to 5 seconds on at least 5 to 10 plays. Let's be real. I mean, minimum 5, close to 10. I mean, this guy, and not that the O-line, which we'll touch on in a second, but the O-line was doing fine. He just like he looked so relaxed, so confident, so exciting. I mean, damn guys, if you weren't excited for some Utah offense, you damn well got what you deserved. You know, as a Utah fan, we have been waiting to see an offensive spark for a long time. As someone that did call out Andy Ludwig quite a bit and took a lot of harpoons from other Utah media people for it, I feel very vindicted in my, proclamation that Andy Ludwig was a problem. And then I know a lot of people say, Andy Ludwig left and the other guy sucked too. But I broke down that other guy as well, and he was really bad. I couldn't believe how bad the numbers were. I went into that breakdown hoping to be optimistic and see what we could do. But anyways, new offense. Devin Dampier looked freaking electric, dude. Just a clear, very good quarterback. I don't want to start talking elite now, but I mean, gosh, bro. Just as I said, if we had come out against UCLA and looked bad or not looked great or lost the game, I wouldn't be flushing our season down the toilet. So I won't do the opposite either. I won't say, oh, bro, like this is where it's title contenders right away. Now, I do want to say that was very impressive. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a team that had a more impressive season opener than Utah just had. I think we will jump into the top 25 for damn sure. We are jumping into the top 25. I expect us to actually be in the top 20, if not maybe 21, 22. We went out there and beat the crap out of UCLA. Seriously, guys. And we'll talk about defense in a bit. But first, let's dive in. Jason Beck's offense. Whoo! Night and day difference from what we have seen over the past few years. And I would say this, clearly Devin is a special player and makes this offense operate at a level that not many could do. Let's be real. His ability to just make things happen with his feet and just creativity is extremely impressive. Right? But I don't think we're in a scenario where like Cam Rising, once he was out of the Ludwig offense, it just collapsed and, crapped the bed. With this one, we've got a situation where, worst case, Isaac Wilson or Bird Fickling comes in. Like, I don't think they would look like a fish out of water. I don't think they'll look like Devin Dampier either. But I think you saw so much creativity and so much excitement in this offense that you just feel confident for the future, guys. Let's talk about the offense as a whole, just kind of what we were able to do. 286 rushing yards, 206 passing yards. Just incredibly impressive stuff here, guys. Looking at these numbers, I mean, nearly 500 yards of total offense. And I want to point out that I think we finished the first half with 165 rushing yards. So even when the UCLA defense knew we were going to start milking the clock, knew we were going to start grinding the ball down, we just kept moving the ball. 5.3 yards a carry. I mean, just incredibly impressive. Another shout out to Jason Beck about how awesome his offense looked. We weren't one-dimensional in the second half. Actually, the majority of our passing yards came in the second half. We were at like 70-something passing yards when we went to halftime, and the majority of the passing yards came in the second half. Looked incredibly good. Very, very, very impressive. And this offense was able to milk the clock, run a slow tempo, not quite chewing the clock, but being aware that we had a good lead while still wanting to score, having a good mix of run and pass. I mean, we threw 26 times and we ran 54 times. It's kind of, what you were expecting from this offense. Can you imagine that, though? I think I went into this game saying that we would run 30 to 35 times. We ran 54 times. Devin Dampier had 16 carries. So even if you count out Devin Dampier, we ran 36 times. A cool observation there. Nakari Rogers, he's a guy I told you to keep an eye on. He only went for 3.8 yards a carry, but I think some of that was more short yardage than inability on his part. He looked very good when I was watching him play. He had 61 yards. Wayshawn Parker had a few less carries, 11 carries, and he went for 62 yards, ran really hard, looked like a very talented duo, very, very good group. Some other quarterbacks got out there and were able to get some carries as well. Bird Ficklin made some plays with his feet, 2 carries for 10 yards. Nate Johnson had 1 carry for 6 yards. Man, I love how exciting this offense is. We have been punished with watching terrible, dreadful, boring offense for so long. This was amazing. Now let's talk about as I move into the last person that got a few carries. Smith Snowden had three rushes for 15 yards. But more impressive, guys, Smith Snowden was the leading receiver in receptions and receiving yards. 6 receptions for 51 yards. This was, as much as we knew we would have at least a more exciting offense, who would have guessed that we'd see Lander Barton catch a touchdown and Smith Snowden have 6 catches and lead the team in receiving yards? Just such an exciting offense, so much motion, so much movement, so much you never knew what was going on. And as a guy that watches a lot of football, I can usually watch and think, oh, we're trying to do this, right? This is the game plan. And not that I can't tell that on an individual play, but usually it's like, okay, we need to do more of this or less of that. This offense was so creative, so fun, so sporadic that I never found, obviously I was enjoying it, so I wasn't being super analytical, but still, I never found myself in that position where I was looking at it from that sense, right? Where it always felt like I was kept guessing. And that's probably how the UCLA defense felt the whole time. So a few more shout outs. Ryan Davis got involved a decent amount, right? He had a few catches. Just the tight ends. We hit the tight ends a decent amount in Buchanan and Bentley. Noah Benet got a couple targets as well. He was playing defense too. I'll mention him in a bit. But, just an explosive offense. I don't want to just wax poetic about this offense all night, but extremely impressive. And I feel confident saying we should expect significantly better offensive football in the coming months than we have seen in years any game where we didn't have Cam Rising, right? The past 2 years have been inept offense, and now we are looking at an offense that made the score look like a G or a P4 team playing a low-end G5, if not FCS team. So very impressive, guys. Stick around. We'll talk about the defense. Okay, guys, I feel like the defense is probably going to be the unsung hero of this game because we're so excited to finally see some good offense. But damn, did our defense come out and look good. Lander Barton looked awesome, 7 tackles. Logan Fano, though, for me, if I'm going to point out one person, a lot of people deserve shout-outs, but if there's one person that really impressed me, it's Logan Fano. 4 solo tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFLs, 1 pass deflection. What a stat line. This guy was all over the place, looked dominant. I was hoping he would have a big comeback year. And it felt last night, depending on when you're watching this or whatever, that he was the star of the defensive show. Very much so. Very, very impressive. Going back to Lander Barton, just very solid night, 7 tackles, 2 solo tackles. Just looked like a solid, well-rounded player, led the team in tackles. I think you saw what you wanted from him. Not that there was really a lot of doubt. Nate Ritchie, as usual, looked physical, 5 tackles. Jackson Benet, number 23. This kid stood out to me. Reminded me a lot of Nate Ritchie. It almost felt like we had 2 Nate Ritchies out there. This kid, tall, pretty big DB, white kid, hard nose, just laid the wood a few times. There was a big, I think it was either a 3rd or 4th down play where Nico Imaliava scrambled and Jackson Benet dove his body helmet first I remember a kid I used to play as a tackled like this. He had a lot of concussions because he tackled like this, but it's very effective. And this kid was a very good football player. And anyways, but Benet went boom, lit his calf up and took him down. And if he didn't make the tackle, which is not easy to tackle, Nico, he actually broke a few tackles tonight. But Jackson Benet, number 23, made the play. And even I think he had a light concussion or something because he was laying there for a while. But very impressive play. I mean, this is the type of guy that I would keep an eye on, guys. Just as a name that I was not unaware of, but not exactly holding in high regard heading into the season. Keep an eye on number 23. He was playing both ways, which means they know he's a very good athlete. And he was kind of all over the field on defense. I was very impressed. I mean, tackle-wise, the only three guys that had the only guy that had more tackles than him was Lander Barton. Logan Fano and Nate Ritchie tied with him. So I would keep an eye out for this kid. He looked impressive. Okay, another shout out, John Henry Daly. 3 tackles, 2 solo tackles, and 2 sacks, and 2 TFLs. Very, very impressive. Very impressive stat line. He came in last year, transferring over El Paso or something like that, UTSA, something like that. I forget where he transferred from exactly. And I think he rotated in a little bit last year, but never really, impressed a ton. Big opening statement from him. Blake Cotton, he's listed here as number 10, but I believe he was number 16. If he's the corner, I think he's the corner. I just want to check. Hold on. Yeah, he's listed as number 10, but I believe he was number 16 on the field because I remember thinking, oh, this guy looks pretty good. And he reminds me he has a similar build as Maivon. He's wearing Maivon's number. So let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about there because I'm pretty sure this guy was. Anyway, but Blake Cotton, pretty sure he was an outside corner. Looked very impressive if that's the guy I'm thinking of. In limited snaps where I really saw him stand out, but still looked impressive. Cash Dillon had a couple of nice hits on the sideline. I saw Holtzclaw stick out a few times. Carson Kafusi, 3 tackles, half a sack, half a TFL. Lavani Demooney, limited snaps, but he had one. You guys probably remember this. He had one play where Anthony Woods was taking the ball up the gut, and Lavani Demooney was at a dead spot, at a dead stop, broke down, trying to make the play. And just like usually you'd see this type of hit if the defender's coming downhill ready to just light someone up. This was him at a dead stop and just boom, dude, lit the guy up, lit up Anthony Woods. That was another funny observation when our defense was out there. Their offense was Nico Amaliava, Mikey Matthews, and Anthony Woods. And Mikey Matthews and Anthony Woods were both former Utah players. So very peculiar, just weird to see. But what a game, guys. What a game. Defense looked very promising. And the thing is, guys, this game was 43-7, or not 43-7, but it was 20-7 before halftime. So UCLA only got 3 more points. 43-10 was the final score. So you got to imagine that in garbage time, when our defense could have let up a lot, we didn't. We got a lot of guys out there, got them a lot of reps, and our defense held strong and did such a good job. I feel like they'll be the unsung hero of this matchup because this game, our offense did a great job of making it not competitive, but our defense did their thing too. Also, shout out to Dylan Curtis with the kicker, that 54-yard kick. That thing looked like it could have went for 60, so it looks like the hype is real there. We only kicked once and punted once the whole game. Holy crap. Okay, cool. Stick around. I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts on kind of like the future and how I'm feeling about the season as we wrap this up. So stick around. Okay, guys. Final thoughts as we wrap this up. I'm sure there's guys I haven't mentioned, so I'm excited to see the comments, see what you guys say. But obviously, Tobias Merriweather, I'll throw him out. He had that huge catch for 36 yards. I mean, so many playmakers, and I think that's probably where I'm at right now. Why I'm so excited about what we saw on offense is just it felt like you didn't need, like, it was just so creative and so well done. Obviously, Devin Dampier could have shadowed any weaknesses, and who knows what this would look like with a different quarterback. But I mean, I got to imagine that it would look still pretty decent. I mean, there were guys wide open a lot of the time, just schemed open, doing a great job. Again, Devin Dampier is such a weapon. I think he proved that tonight, that you have to factor him in. But either way, as long as Devin's healthy, which I'd like to see him not take so many hits. I mean, I can think of like 5 big hits he took tonight, not to mention the another 5 to 10 like solid hits that they gave him. So obviously that's pretty nitpicky, and I'm not trying to make this because this is such a celebratory video. What a great time. The best thing about this, guys, is we had 4 different guys that had 3+ catches. We had another 4 guys with 1 catch. I mean, we were just spreading it around. It was like the whole team was eating. And I'm loving this new, post Travis Hunter world where we're seeing Smith Snowden. I wonder if we'll see other teams in college football trying to follow that model, because like the truth is, guys, some of the best athletes, if not the best athletes on the team, are cornerbacks. Like corners are, if you're unaware of this, corners are usually faster than receivers. Why is that? Because you have to be able to make up ground if the receiver, makes a nice cut and you stumble a little. You better be able to have some closing speed. There's a reason. I've always said to be a man coverage corner is the hardest position in football. Maybe quarterback, at least to be a man coverage corner, no doubt in my mind, is the most athletically demanding thing you can do in college football or in any level of football. Because if you're going against someone faster than you, and as a slow white guy myself that played corner for a long time, I can guarantee you it's a bad time when someone's faster than you. Anyways, I'm kind of ranting here. I don't even know where I was going. Oh, yeah. So if we can get corners over there touching the ball on offense, that's a good thing, especially Smith Snowden, man. He looked like a real weapon with the ball in his hands, right? I mean, we seem to have had some luck in recent years having those two-way players, right? Sione Fotu, just a monster a couple of years ago, right? Playing running back and playing safety. We didn't even get him going until halfway through the season, though. You see, it's the DBs, bro. Travis Hunter, Sione Fotu, Smith Snowden, Lander Barton obviously had a nice play too. But I'm just saying, like, the DBs are very athletic, and I think the coaches are more aware of that than anyone else. But anyways, guys, I think we have so much to look forward to. I think this is not to say that, my expectation now is, hey, we're the best team in the Big 12. We're going to run it. But I would also put a caveat in that I can't imagine today having gone much better, right? Like, what would you have wanted to see that we didn't see today? I mean, if you're saying that there's a higher ceiling we could have had today, I don't think you're being realistic. I mean, this was nearly 500 yards of offense. Our defense allowed 10 freaking points. And let's see, how many yards did their offense have? And I mean, they didn't look that bad as much as our defense looked good. I feel confident saying that. Yeah, 220 total yards of offense, 136 passing, and 84 rushing, 3 yards of carry rushing, and 6.2 yards of catch, 50% completion percentage. So I guess we'll know more as we see some more games from UCLA, what they really are. It's hard to know this early in the season. But even if they're a below average team, that was a very impressive performance by Utah. So excited to see what the rest of the season holds. Again, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Like the video. That'll help get it out to more people. And please comment down below. I want to know your guys' thoughts. So excited the season's back upon us. It's going to be a great ride, and I'm excited to enjoy it with you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I am out of here, and I can't tell you guys how excited I am to just be back to Utah content. It's really what I love, and it's like actually content I enjoy making. So glad to be here, guys. I'm out of here. Go Utes.